Kate Fallon, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with summer camp. I've had experiences both as a camper and a counselor for quite a few years. And it started a while back when I was around 11 years old. And that summer, I didn't go away to summer camp, but my brother did. And he's about a year older than I am. And he came back and he was a changed kid. He was different. He was a lot more confident. And being at a summer camp, I taught him a lot about meeting new people and making friends and learning, new activities and things like that. So my parents decided that they wanted to send me to a summer camp as well. And I did not want to go at all. I was completely content staying home in the summer. I'm from Long Island, New York, and we have those beautiful beaches, and I was totally content just staying there, going to the beach every day, like I had, my entire life up to then. But my parents insisted, and I remember my mother and I going online and typing summer camp into Google, and one of the first ones to come up was a camp called Independent Lake Camp. And that place, among a few others, we checked out their website and everything like that. And we couldn't really decide, and then we stumbled upon a search engine for summer camps, which was really cool. So it was this website, and you put in your criteria. So you put in, how old you are, where you want to go. Like if you want to stay, we wanted to stay, in the Northeast region, but other people may want to go to, a farther away place or check out the Midwest or West Coast or anything like that. So you put in, what geographical places you were interested in. You also put in your interests. So I was really into dance. So I put that in. If you wanted a specific sport or any kind of activity that you wanted to pursue, you put that in. There's also, you choose like the style you wanted. So if you were looking for a place that you would really be roughing it and you would be intense with a campfire and things like that, or if you wanted, you wanted to be in a cabin with running water or some, in between. There are a lot of different types of camps, so you put that in. And then, of course, you would put in how long you were, looking to stay. So 2 weeks, the entire summer, or anywhere between there. So we put in all this criteria, and it sent us back this whole long list. And we found some that we liked and some that we didn't like, and we sent out to these camps, and they sent us back information. So we got it a few weeks later. And a couple of them, which I thought was really interesting, had videos taken of, their facilities and, their campers and the kind of things they had going on there. So it was a really good way to figure it out, to be able to sit home and watch the video and get an idea for what it was all about. So the camp I ended up choosing was one of the ones that first came up when we first searched. So again, it was called Independent Lake Camp. And it's located in the state of Pennsylvania. in this really small town called Orson. It's right on the border of Pennsylvania and New York. I think the biggest city that's located near is Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is kind of cool because that's where the TV show The Office is located. But anyway, so the next year, when I was 12 years old, I went there. My parents dropped me off, and I didn't know anybody. But I don't think I'll ever forget it. They just kind of took me into the cabin and said goodbye and left, and I was so mad at them because I didn't want to be there. I didn't know anybody. But it was really important because that taught me, how to be on my own and make friends and, learn how to go up to a complete stranger and say, "Hi, I'm Kate. Let's hang out. Let's go get a lemonade. Let's, whatever." So I think the only hard part of it was like that first 10 minutes that my parents left. I was, in kind of a culture shock. But after that, I, had the best time, and I ended up going back every year until I was going back as a camper every year until I was 17. And then when I was 17, I went as a CIT, which is a counselor in training. So I half worked and half was a camper. And then the years after that, 2 years after that, I was a counselor for those next consecutive 2 years. So I lived in a cabin with like 7 to 15 girls, and I've been a counselor for girls of all ages from 7 to 16, and that was really enjoyable, just working with kids. And then I also taught, when I was a counselor, I taught dance, yoga, and I think I taught a couple of sign language classes that I just taught, like the alphabet and things like that. But it was really great. One of the best things about my camp experience is meeting people from other countries. For some reason, this specific camp really catered to people from Europe and some people from Eastern Asia, but mostly European people, both campers and counselors. And as a camper, I was able to meet people from Spain and France and England, and they, as kids, would come to the U.S. to go to this summer camp. And I thought that was kind of strange that they didn't come to, they didn't go to camps in their own countries, but I soon learned that it's not a popular experience in Europe to go to a summer camp. And then when I was a counselor, I became friends with so many people from different countries who would come to the U.S., work as a camp counselor for the summer, and then that whole, all the money that they got from that, they would spend traveling around the U.S. for the rest of the year. So I think that really encouraged my interest in language and culture. So that, among many other things, I learned through my camp experience. I also learned how to make my own decisions. That's a great thing about that camp, is they really promote independence and self-independent camp. But you choose all your own activities, even if you're 7 years old. They give you a list, or they read it to you and they say, what do you want to do today? And you choose for yourself, no matter if it's a sport or dance or theater or art or anything. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you, and your parents aren't there to make the decision for you. And even if you ask your counselor to make the decision for you, they won't. So that was